everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in pop culture and movie news. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
Happy Saturday, everybody, and welcome. Let us know how we are sounding as far as audio goes, and if you hear weird musical background noise because somebody near our apartment is playing some sort of weird,
really loud music. It sounds like, hey, it's Saturday. So,
Sure.
Relax in the backyard. It's beautiful weather here in Southern California. And, I can understand. However, it's not conducive to doing a live stream.
Yes. So let us know if that becomes a bother, and then I don't know, what can we even do? Sick Navi on them.
Yeah.
She'll cute them to death.
Go get them, Navi. Sick them.
She's like, look at me, I'm so cute. Stop playing your music, please.
She'll probably be like, come on in, and be like, they'll just party with a Navi.
Oh my gosh, no.
Give her a whole bunch of treats, and then she'll be like, I found a new home.
Goodbye, everybody else. You guys, on today's show, we're talking, sorry, I forgot to do the bullets again, but spoilers for the Bad Batch episode 4. We're going to do a non-spoiler review of Army of the Dead, and let's see, Dave Filoni, now named executive creative director, which is technically not new news, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. But you guys, before we do announcements, as always, if some of you guys, I think I saw some of you guys, the movie bunch, in the chat yesterday over on John Roca's channel, but we have a new show called John and Wendy Explain the World, where you talk about literally anything and everything. Yes, TV, movie, but other stuff like why John has not watched Castlevania, any of them.
And you would think it would be right in his wheelhouse too.
Yeah, but I get it. The man's busy and he's trying to watch 50 million things.
True. And there's so much material out there, so much media to watch.
Yeah.
Not just entertainment, but there's so much always news
and
or
he's
this
studying
or
for
that.
the Schmodown, and stuff like that. So, the man's busy, so I want to cut him some slack. But if I think he can just devote one episode, he'd be like, wait, what is this story?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to really love it. So
and the animation's amazing.
Absolutely. So we'll talk about all that and more on the show. So announcements. Okay. Before we dive in, yes. So Fridays at 3 p.m. PT over on John Roca's channel. Check that out. It's every Friday, unless one of us is unavailable, sick, or something like that. Then it's supposed to be a weekly thing. And also, you guys know we've been talking a lot about A Quiet Place 2 that is opening up in theaters next week. Dustin and I are going to get to go to a early screening with the Q&A with John Krasinski, so we're super excited about that. It is at Cinemark, and the Q&A is Cinemark only. It will be live specifically at the location in Playa Vista, but it will be live streamed at the exact time to all the other various Cinemark locations, so long as you buy the showtime for that specific one. For us, PDT is 5 p.m. But just make sure when you're booking your tickets, regardless of the location you go to, if you want to check out the Q&A, just make sure you pick A Quiet Place 2 with Q&A with John Krasinski. Otherwise, you're just going to get the regular old movie, which is also great. But we imagine if you're trying to, listen in on the Q&A, that's the one booking you want to go for. I don't know if the link is below. I don't think it is actually, but I will put that in the description post the live stream, and it'll be posted on our social media as well. And you guys, one of the things that we love doing sometimes on air, other than unboxings, is taste tests.
And Wendy happened to go into it. Was it an AM/PM that you found?
Yeah, I think it was at a gas station.
Or a gas station. And sure enough, she found, I don't know if you can see it.
It's too close for them.
Too close. My apologies.
My
is the coffee Coca-Cola. So we are really curious to see how this tastes.
I know there's 4 different flavors. We've discussed this in previous live streams. It's also all over our Discord. So the movie bunch, we got the caramel one, but I believe there was a dark roast and a vanilla, which is the one I really wanted because I feel like there's a vanilla Coke out there. So that would just kind of taste like that. And I had posted.
I'm really worried about it. I'm afraid that I'm going to taste it.
I'm
like, why?
Yeah. I posted this on my Instagram and in IG stories, and I was like, so should I try this live on air? And one of my friends wrote me back, put that in the trash. So we're going to go ahead and give it a try.
Yeah. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do that
do it now.
It's
cold. It's cold right now.
Okay. Sounds good. And how about you,
Can
Navi?
you open? Because I'm sorry, I have lotion. I put lotion all over my hand, and the
it's a little slippery.
was already slipping out of my hand.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
So it's meant to be an energy drink, right? Or
Probably. I mean,
actually, no, it's not.
it's not.
It just says Coca-Cola with coffee. Technically, all it says is Coca-Cola with coffee. Is it focusing?
No, wait. I gotta hide my face a little bit. Yeah,
There it
there we
goes.
go.
All right. So that's what it is, and we have it in caramel. I'm gonna do the sniff test first.
The smell. Does it
Can't
actually smell like
anything?
You have to kind of like squeeze it. Oh, wait, careful. It's right there at the top. Can you get a little whiff of it?
I smell like that soda smell.
Yeah, it's a little. It's very a hint. It's like Coke, but with a hint of coffee scent to it.
Jim says, I tried it after you talked about on the show. Gross. Oh no.
Oh.
Jack says, I got a bad feeling about this. So yeah, it.
Are you ready?
Oh, MK's tried them too. MK's here. He said he enjoyed the dark blend one. The only one I am not a fan of happens to be the caramel. Maybe that's why that was the only flavor that's left in the.
All the other ones are actually decent, and this one's just.
All
okay,
right.
Here we go. Wish me luck.
You seem confused.
I am. I'm really confused. I'm just getting too many flavors. I'm getting it like it's like a Diet Coke caramel whisper of creamy kind of. No, it's nothing that I could. No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's not the
it really sticks to your tongue.
There's like a film on my tongue now.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not so bad that I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to toss it in the trash.
Yeah.
While I buy another one. No. Okay, so when you first drink it, it's very bubbly, more bubbly than a regular like soda.
Yeah.
I would say. And then it's a weird Coke, and you don't really get that coffee taste or flavor or even the caramel until afterwards. So now when I exhale out,
I taste it like in the back of my throat a little bit. I'm like, okay, hold on a second.
That's weird. That's weird.
No, I mean, because you can't really tell what it is. It's like, is this Coke? Is it caramel? Is it? It's like you can't. I don't like it. No, no, I don't like it.
There is the very initial taste when it hits your tongue, when the bubbles hit. It reminds me of this one specific Taiwanese soda. That's kind of like their version of a root beer, but less sweet.
Okay.
But none of this weird aftertaste. None of that.
Yeah.
So like the initial taste, I feel, is that, but everything else is not that. And that soda is quite good because I grew up with it. I really like it. But
and yeah, you're getting all of these aftertastes. You're getting the aftertaste of kind of the coffee, the caramel, and the Coca-Cola. And it's just the fact that the three of them just don't go well together. And I'm kind of like, I don't like it.
It's worse. It's worse. The second sip is worse.
You're like, okay, maybe it'll be a little bit better now that I know what to anticipate. No. Okay, but now I'm curious. Now that some other people have said that, oh yeah, the other ones are actually kind of good.
Well, we have to get the dark blend.
Yeah. I think maybe just Coke.
No extra flavoring like caramel or vanilla.
Yeah, just Coke. I'm sorry, didn't mean to bump my mic. Just Coke and coffee. I think that would probably be a little bit better because you're already getting the sweetness from the Coca-Cola. But if you're adding more sweetness with the caramel and then trying to add an artificial cream kind of flavor, it's just way too much flavoring, so to speak. Just make it Coke and coffee. And I can see it then maybe being a little bit more palatable. But yeah, the caramel one is just way too much like artificial fake. It's not even like a real caramel kind of flavor. It really does feel like an artificial kind of.
I don't really feel like we need it anymore on the market. I think it was like a fun little like, hey, look what we came up with, and then like hopefully the supply goes out, and once they run out, they don't need to reproduce. Sean says Wendy was being nice, but she disliked it. Easy. Especially the first initial taste. If that was my one and only, don't do it, Dustin.
I'm gonna.
Don't do it. No, why?
Why was the third one so bad?
It gets worse progressively.
It gets progressively worse. It really does. I don't know
gets
why.
worse.
It was just I mean, I didn't have that reaction to any of the other ones, any of the other sips, but that one really just made me go, okay, no, it can't be. It can't be.
It's like Coke but burnt.
Oh, that's a really good way of saying it.
You're
It's
like,
a
how
burnt.
the heck? That's literally how I would describe it. So, yeah, that's what I would.
It stays on the tongue even with water.
Have to eat something.
Yeah.
Need something equally bad to
No, we have to have something super good, like our tri-tip later today.
Oh my God. Well, there you go, guys. We at least tried it on air, and there you have it. And we're going to try to cleanse our palate by getting our brain to think about something else. And we're going to go to Chris's choice. Thank you, Chris, for your super chat today. Chris writes, 2 great archers in movies, Hawkeye and Legolas. Who is the better archer, and who would win in a fight? Ooh, great question, Chris.
That is actually a really good choice. Well, here's the thing. I will give right off the bat Hawkeye a little bit of a heads up because he has trick arrows. So he's able to use technology along with that. However, elves are technically superhuman. They are more acrobatic. They are more agile. They're more able to do more tricks when they are shooting, and they could, climbing up the
you mean you can hop on a shield like a skateboard and go glide down the stairs, ride an elephant?
Yeah. Climbing up the elephant and shooting while being able to move like that. Legolas is able to pull that off. Where Hawkeye has more gadgets, I think Legolas has more raw skill. So that's actually a really interesting question. I think if it was like a one-on-one fight to where you kind of like Hunger Games, you start one person off in this side and the other person off at the other side, Legolas might have a heads up because he'll have heightened sentences, heightened dexterity and stealth. And if it was more of like a brawl, I think Legolas would have a heads up. But if you're talking about maybe fighting a specific opponent, fighting the Chitauri or fighting warriors that are attacking your kingdom, I would have to give it to Hawkeye because he would have more utility. Sometimes you don't want to just shoot and kill. Sometimes you need to immobilize. Sometimes you need to stop an elephant, kind of a thing.
Yeah. And I see a lot of comments here in the chat, and also hello to Kukai watching all the way from New Zealand. Thank you so much. Sean is asking regular Hawkeye or Ronin Hawkeye. I'm gonna say we're going with regular Hawkeye here because Legolas doesn't have like a level up, right? Like he doesn't have any of the trick arrows, or whatever. So we're gonna keep the level playing field, I guess, by saying it's regular Hawkeye, unless this is Chris's question, so he can kind of dictate that however he wants.
Yeah.
But if we were going in with this, well, my pick, I think my loyalty lies with Legolas. I think I love Lord of the Rings too much. I love Orlando Bloom's portrayal of Legolas too much.
Yeah.
To not pick. I feel like Hawkeye, if he especially is equipped with some of his trick arrows, then yeah, he's got a leg up on Legolas. But Legolas is also, like you said, an elf. So a lot more agile, much faster, keen eyes, basically not your normal human, where Hawkeye needs the enhancements. So once he runs out of these trick arrows and various enhancements, if he has like, I don't know, goggles or whatever, and if they get broken, they no longer work, then what?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Legolas here for our answers. What are you guys picking for? And I see also some of the other like right-in choices. I saw Katniss.
Yeah.
I saw Arrow. Don't forget Kate Bishop.
Oh, yeah. The Green Arrow. Get him in there.
Green Arrow, yeah, right? Who would win if you decided to make it a 3-way fight?
Oh, well, or even a 4-way fight. I would have to say, I still think on that totem pole, because then you also have Robin Hood,
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, everyone else seems to have a little bit of a heads up. Katniss is straight arrows. Oh, because she does have like some exploding arrows that she was given during the war,
and she survived the Hunger Games. So
she survived the Hunger Games, so she has that survival skills.
Yeah.
But once again, Legolas has all those survival skills plus superhuman abilities. So there is a leg up that Legolas has in that. And also, if they're in the woods, he's a wood elf.
Can blend.
So he knows how to. That's his favorite terrain.
Yeah. So your pick was Hawkeye?
I think overall I would have to give it to Legolas. In certain situations, I think Hawkeye would have a better opportunity, but overall, definitely Legolas.
Yeah, that's what I would think too. Continue to drop in your answers in the chat and let us know what you think as we move on to our newsflash section of the show. And you guys, it really helps us out if you go ahead and smash that like button. Oh, I gotta take this one thing off real quick. There we go. Smash that like button, really helps us out here on YouTube. Continue to engage in the chat, also really helps us out. So, and we love reading your comments in chat, so keep them coming. Moving on to our news flash section.
Real quick, did we mention a super chat? I think you mentioned it.
I mentioned it, but I don't think I put it up, so I'm going to right now. And this is from Sean when we were trying out the Coca-Cola coffee drink, and so Sean was saying that I was being nice, but I disliked it easy. I'm not even going to try a third. It just gets worse as it goes.
Yeah.
I probably, if there was the dark blend, I probably would have picked that one, but that was the only one left in the fridge. That's not the only can. That was just the only flavor left. So, but I'm not gonna. I think that thing cost me like $3, $4 maybe.
I also like real quick before we move on, Marvin Martin's comment about technically Legolas is immortal, so he could just wait them out and they all die. It's like, hey, you can't find me. You're all gonna die.
It's been 500 years,
and you're all dead. Wait for them to get old. He doesn't even need to. I don't even think
it's true.
Elves really need to sleep. They just meditate for a little bit, and then they're just
waiting. Is that D&D rules, or is that actual? That's D&D rules. Is that actually Lord of the Rings rules? You can't apply D&D 5e to everything, Dustin.
I know. I want to though.
To a lot of it, but not to all of it. First topic up in our news flash: Knives Out expands their cast
again,
adding Kate Hudson. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I can't believe
it's quite different.
How many stars are in this?
Edward Norton, Dave Bautista, Joel Monet, Catherine Hahn, Kate Hudson. Who's next?
I know.
Who's not next?
I'm really curious on what they're planning to do too. I mean, when you're getting all of these stars and you don't want to, you don't hire a big name and give them like a two-liner kind of a thing.
Yeah, no one in this movie is getting a two-liner. No one's getting
unless it's actually like specifically a cameo.
Like maybe a quick cameo from one of the previous cast member from one of the previous movies.
Yeah.
That I can see that being a cameo, but I think with this story, because we don't know who's playing who, what, anything about this movie, I'm just excited to see this cast grow, because the last movie had like a ton of people.
Yeah,
like 11 cast members.
Yeah, there was a
core cast alone.
There was a really big cast in that, and that's the thing, though. I mean, we're getting excited about all of these actors that they're putting in there, and yet we now know nothing as of this moment. We really know nothing about the story. Yeah. We don't know what the mystery is. We don't know what the hook is going to be. So I cannot wait to hear more about what the murder. It's going to be a murder mystery.
Correct.
So
well, we think.
True. I guess. I mean, I don't think
he's going to go so far away from that genre, because that's what the first one was set on.
Yeah.
It's just that we're done with that family's mystery. Marta got the house, and we kind of find out all the other stuff that's happened to the rest of the family members. So I feel like their story doesn't need to continue. And Debbie is already saying it in the chat that it's going to be a different one than the first one. And thank you, Sean, for stopping by. We appreciate you so much. Have a good rest of the day. And like Late to the Party says, just like Jon Snow, we know nothing.
Exactly.
We know nothing, but we're just super excited.
I was just going to say, yeah, we're super excited to see where this evolves and what comes of it.
Yeah.
Because the first one was so good.
The first one was so good. And you guys, along in the news flash, even though this news isn't new news, is just like, I guess, because they updated the website, so it feels like new news. But let's talk about Dave Filoni for a second here. Dave Filoni, on the Lucasfilm website, has been promoted to, formally, I guess, updated on the website to be executive creative director for Lucasfilm. However, this isn't a new position. This is not like it just happened. It apparently happened officially last summer. It's just
Mhm.
that they've recently updated the website to reflect that change. So he's been in the role for quite a bit, and I believe reps for Lucasfilm is saying, he's been doing this a while. Everything's great. He's very busy. He's got a whole galaxy to now, creative direct. So we're super excited. Congratulations to Dave Filoni. It just even we'll treat this like it's a new announcement, even though he's been doing this for quite a while now. I am really excited for him to see
Yes.
him in this role. I think his passion for Star Wars and the way he tells stories for certain characters, he has this really defined vision.
Mhm.
And I hope that this now will give us more of, how the MCU, it took some time, but it eventually, the end game of it all, pun intended, maybe no pun intended, all came together and all the puzzles fell into the right place
Mhm.
as you saw the universe and the stories expand and grow. I think now with Filoni in this position, we're going to start seeing that, especially since we're done with the Skywalker saga.
Yes.
And now we're kind of starting anew, and especially starting with these TV shows. We have The Mandalorian, which has been a huge hit. We have coming up the Book of Boba Fett, and then other live action TV
Ahsoka.
shows: Ahsoka, Acolyte, Obi-Wan,
I'm so excited for that.
Andor, and then of course we have the Bad Batch that is airing right now on Disney
Mhm.
Plus every Friday. So I look forward to it, and I hope this means for him being creative director that maybe we'll continue to get more animated shows,
Yes.
because I love that.
That's also his background. That's pretty much where he started, was in animation. So I would love to see more animated shows in the theme of Rebels, and especially in the theme of Clone Wars. That is something that just got me incredibly back into Star Wars. I'm always a little bit hesitant
Mm,
when Star Wars slash Lucasfilms goes, we're starting kind of a new generation, or a new saga, not a saga, but a new um, chunk of Star Wars material. For example, when they first brought out, I mentioned the prequels. We
mhm.
were like, oh, this is amazing. We're going to have George Lucas, and he's going to be in charge of everything, and he's going to be able to do whatever he wants. He's going to be in full control. This is going to be amazing. We had a little bit of disappointment with that. Some people loved them. If you guys love the prequels, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
yeah,
A lot of people were a little disappointed. Then Disney bought them out, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is great. Disney's going to have the money. They're going to be able to get the best people. They're going to be able to have the vision and structure to be able to build Star Wars again." Had a little bit of a letdown again. But now that we have Filoni, I'm once again going, oh, this is great. We have someone who is a geek, who's worked with George Lucas, who's now good contacts with Disney. So you'll be able to have a new successful generation of Star Wars, kind of a thing. And
mm.
I'm just excited to see what he brings. But I do have a little bit of a, we've been burnt before. I've been burnt by you before,
Yes, but
kind
we
of a
didn't have
thing.
Filoni in this position before either. Like
Hmm.
he wasn't working as executive creative director when the sequel trilogies.
True.
I mean, did he consult? Maybe. I don't know. We don't know. We're not there. He obviously knows his way around Star Wars and the characters. So I think it's just kind of like those movies happen. Love them. You didn't love them. That's all your. That's your prerogative for sure. And like, I don't want to get always so stuck on the past. Like, I don't want to keep going back and be like, I didn't like the prequels. Blah. It's kind of like, well, people know I didn't love the prequels, but I love that people love the prequels. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like they grew up with them, like I grew up with the trilogies.
Yeah.
So it's a little something different. So I don't want to bash on a thing that made other people happy, and that's the reason they fell in love with Star Wars. Because by the end of the days, by the end of the at the end of the day, we're all Star Wars fans, right?
Yeah. And one thing that Filoni has been able to do amazingly well is to
Hmm.
be able to take some of the really good things from the prequels, from the sequels, and make them amazing, connect them together, be able to take these threads and be able, where George Lucas is like, I want to bring back Maul. And Dave is like, you kind of killed him, George. But he was able to work with George Lucas and be able to bring back Darth Maul in an amazing way.
Yep.
So I have a lot of faith in Dave
Yeah.
Filoni, and I cannot wait to see what he brings us. And the fact that we have announcements like Ahsoka, all of these shows that I'm just like, yes, I
Well,
want to see these.
speaking of shows, we did see the breaking news from this morning that one of the shows that was originally announced during Disney Investor Day is no longer in active development. And for that, we are talking about the the Rangers. I was going to call it the New Rangers of the Republic. Flip that. Rangers of the New Republic. So this was it was announced, as one of the many Star Wars shows that was coming to Disney Plus during Investor Day, but it looks like currently it is the only one that is not going to move forward for the time being. Now, don't get this confused with, in my opinion, a show, because some people are saying, "Oh, it got canceled." Well, no, they were kind of clear with the verbiage.
Yeah.
It is no longer in active development. It is not completely off the table. It just means they're gonna, center their focuses on all the 50 million other shows, and who knows what else they didn't announce, to us, to the public. They have like so many things happening, so they're shifting their focuses to those, and then this could still happen. We don't know when. We don't know what it'll be, but I didn't take this as like, oh, it's being canceled, but I do wonder if this decision came about because they are no longer working with Gina Carano. Uh so maybe this show presumably was centered around her, because it was kind of said like, oh, they gave her the badge and everything, like,
Mhm.
oh, Rangers of the New Republic, like it made sense that it would be centered around her. So if that was the case and they know they're no longer working with her, then they can't really move the show forward, because it's like they can recast, but they can also do something else with the story. So we
Yeah.
don't really know what, and I think it was kind of a smart move to be like, well, it's not an active development, but let's just come back to the table it for now, and we'll come back later.
Yeah, it really sounds like they're just really putting it on the back burner.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, hey, let's have all of the drama from it blow over, and
Mm-hmm.
then give us some time to either decide on, do we want to recast? Do we want to refocus the story? Or keep the same kind of plot points
Mm-hmm.
and just tell it around somebody else, kind of
Yeah.
a thing. So I think there's still a lot of room, because there's going to be something more than just, oh, we wanted to have this character in it to be for an entire series. I think there's a story, there's um an entire, because there's so many different little stories in Star Wars that you can tell. There's probably something specific that they wanted to tell that doesn't really concern just a character. It concerns the Rangers, so to speak. So how else can you tell that story?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know right now. Put it off to the side. We'll come back to it later.
Yeah.
They have so many other things on their plate at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I am so excited for that Ahsoka live action, because
Yes.
you guys know
And
that's my
Obi-Wan.
favorite character.
Obi-Wan has
And Obi-Wan.
the
Yes.
talks about Obi-Wan has been around since they first announced the sequels.
Mhm.
Everyone's like, oh, Disney was like, we're gonna have a Star Wars movie, then we're gonna have a standalone movie, and everyone was like, oh, is one of them gonna be about Obi-Wan? We want one of them to be about Obi-Wan.
Everybody wants a little piece of
How
Obi-Wan.
many years did reporters say, has Disney contacted you, Ewan McGregor, about playing Obi-Wan again? And for years he was like, they have not asked me, until they asked him,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. So that is one of the things that I'm super excited about.
Yeah, and we look forward to this and all the other shows that they've got going on their slate. And of course, when if they ever decide that they are going to put Rangers of the New Republic back on the table, then we will get to talk about it then. But it's certainly not canceled. We have a super chat from Justin here. Justin, thank you so much. Justin writes, do you think we'll ever see the fabled Star Wars / Marvel cinematic crossover? I think it might happen one day, for good or for ill. We will see. Oh man. So, hypothetically, if it ever happened, I think the way to go about it is for them to somehow, what the timeline work? Well, in space, right? So my mind automatically goes to Guardians of the Galaxy or Captain Marvel.
True.
That's the way they or Fantastic Four. That's how they would meet.
Well, also remember, it is in a galaxy a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. So, and that was for technically the for the original series, I guess you can say. So I guess you could expand the timeline maybe a few hundred years after the Rise of Skywalker, and have it be to where someone from the Star Wars universe finally connects up with someone from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, that would be an interesting conversation, especially if they like meet maybe they're, I don't know, like bounty hunter versus bounty hunter type of a deal. So if the
Mm-hmm.
Guardians are out on like some sort of a heist job, and then they meet a bounty hunter,
That
and
would
then that, or a Mandalorian, like a Boba Fett type.
be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
I think that's probably the smart way to do it too. Start small. Start with just dipping your toes in there to where the Guardians of the Galaxy happen to bump into a Mandalorian or happen to bump into a character from the Star Wars universe. If people
a Jedi, they're real.
Yeah, exactly. And just if the audience happens to love it, then you expand it a little bit more to where maybe an armada and an armada, like a Kree and someone from the New Republic happen to collide, and then slowly start building it from there to where if people are liking it, make some more stories and sell it.
But I feel like it may be a long time before we see that.
It's going to be a long
time, because these two franchises are huge, but being big franchises doesn't automatically equal movie magic.
Yeah.
You know, when you put them together, it could be a whole mess, which is what Justin says here, for good or for ill.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see. But if it did happen, I feel like it would be, you know, somebody in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that travels in space quite a lot. So like a Captain Marvel or the Kree, the Skrulls, Fantastic Four, Guardians, somebody like that.
And it would have to be too where the Earth or the Marvel Cinematic Universe would have to be so far in the uncharted territories of Star Wars, and same thing, vice versa, is that there has to be maybe like the only way into these two realms is through like a wormhole.
Yeah. Absolutely. We have Grow Badmiral Theron asking this question a couple of times. I caught it for the first time ever in a chat, because you guys know I'm pretty bad at trying to click on the the question there. So I'm not okay. Do you think it's? Let me just put it up. Do you think it is possible that
Quinlan Vos,
thank you, could appear in the Bad Batch? What's the timeline?
Name is tickling. I can't remember off the top of my head who Quinlan Vos is.
Okay, then Google.
Could you Google?
Google we go, the internet.
As soon as I have someone jog my memory, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's okay. Yeah. He was the one that worked with Ventress in Dark Disciple.
What's the timeline? Would that work out?
Actually, yeah. He is someone that did survive Order 66. I'm not 100% sure of his fate. If he did die a few years after that, or if he's still out there. But yeah, he was someone who did kind of straddle that light and dark side.
Yeah.
And that's why him and Obi-Wan constantly butted heads. But if you need someone to be, quote, like a Jedi bounty hunter, he's the guy to go to. He's the one who could have, use his Jedi skills for those kind of purposes.
And that does pose an interesting question, because you know what? Maybe let's circle back to it. I was about to just out loud say a spoiler that happened on the show.
Okay.
And I know we do that at the end. So, Badmiral Thrawn, I appreciate this question. I think I'm gonna save it, and let's just remember that to come back later when we talk about the Bad Batch, because there's something I do want to explore. But I almost said what I was going to say, but I'm not going to say it.
In short, I think it probably...
And he says he does survive in Legends.
Okay. And that's the thing. I think, I think if he showed up, I think that'd be awesome. I think if they could work it in, it's always cool to have. He would be in hiding, and he would be the one that they could bump into. It's very possible.
Absolutely. And you guys, from Star Wars, we're going to go into Marvel, but in ways of Avengers Campus. So we want to talk about these Web Slinger power-up bands, an upgrade that you can purchase at the park. So you guys know Avengers Campus is opening very soon. I think June 4th is the opening date. Dustin and I are going to get to go on June 8th. We're super excited. I kind of have like 2 outfits picked out. I don't know which one I'm going to wear yet, but I'm super excited. So the Web Slinger ride is one of the newest, super innovative ride, very interactive, where you can shoot. I believe the premise is these little spider bots.
All of the ones that one of the spider bots that Chris got us. Thank you again so much, Chris. This is I can't wait to be able to bow to you, man.
They're escaping the lab there, and I believe it is up to the rest of us to try to web sling them back in. I think I don't know. And I also don't want to read too much into it before I
because I want to be surprised.
I want to be surprised. So so you can, I want to say, like, do some sort of hand movement that will allow you to shoot webs on the ride, and I think there's like 3D glasses and stuff like that. Probably is, or maybe there isn't, I don't know. But these power up bands, there's 4 of them. 2 of them look like your regular like web shooters that, like, you have the finger thing and you can go and then there's 2 that are like the Iron Man repulsors that you can go womp womp. I don't know, is that the sound that they would
womp womp?
Oh god. And so you can purchase those to enhance your ride experience, and it gives you more web shooting power. So instead of like maybe 1 at a time, you can shoot out like, I don't know, a couple at a time, or maybe there's bigger like a webs. Rapid fire or bigger webs or something like that. The cost of these power up bands have not been released anywhere. People are speculating that maybe they start at $35, and then for some of them they have an additional fee or like price on top of it. I'm guessing maybe it's the Iron Man ones because
because you can probably get what is that called, like upgrades,
or something. I'm not really sure, but Dustin and I are already looking at it going, well, maybe we just get the base ones because there's 4, right? So 2 of them are the spider, like the web slinger ones, and I think one's probably like a Spider-Man Peter Parker one.
Yeah, and one was Silk, I believe.
Ghost. And then the other 2, one's Iron Man and the other one is Rescue, which I think is really cool that they're adding Rescue in there. And people are going to be like, Rescue? And I was like, where's Deltro? Do you remember her moment? And so, yeah, we'll see how they play out. I want to, once Avengers Campus opens, I can't wait to go online and peek a little review on the people that have bought. Probably Ordinary Adventures is going to go and do it. So I'm just going to keep an eye out on their YouTube channel, because they're always like super honest and super thorough with their reporting. So I can't wait to check it out and see if it's worth getting the power up. Because the other thing to me is, I think having these like cool power band additional things that you can purchase to enhance your park going experience can be great for some of the guests who choose to do them. Harry Potter, we saw them with the interactive wands.
Yes.
In Nintendo Land, they have the Mario power up bands that we 100% would want to get when it is safe for us to travel to Japan, when they accept
or when they open it up here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and Debbie tweeted me that they are starting to do the Bowser Castle facade at Universal here. And she showed like
it's so cool.
So I'm very excited. So yeah. Wendy, can you vlog the Avengers Campus? Probably yes.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I bought a new memory. I brought a new SD card just so I can have
just that. But honestly,
footage.
I think that's something that is amazing, that you can go on this ride normal and then you can get something to actually improve your game, so to speak. It really does make it more of like an interactive video game than just a ride. And I really do hope also that what is it called, during, like, you could use it outside of the ride.
Yes.
Like, say for example, you would have like all throughout the park, you will have just these spider bots that will just crawl up somewhere, like look around, and if someone shoots it, you can get like a point on your web shooter. I'm not sure if you can or not, but have some kind of in the park interaction or a park use for these web shooters or for the blasters, kind of like the Harry Potter one. Yeah, just so it's not only exclusive to one ride, because that's a lot of, well, I mean, we don't know the price on it, but I assume it can't be less than $25 baseline, right? So I would love for them, because they have this whole Avengers Campus thing going, I would love for the bands to, we'd be able to use it to interact with something else throughout that area. I think that would be a lot of fun. So that's why I want to wait for I mean, you can't pre-order it anyways. It's like an in-park purchase. Yeah. So we'll see. But if you guys wanted to take a look at what they look like, that is it. Upper right-hand corner is the Rescue, and then the one right next to it to the left, I think that's Ghost, and that's what the web slinger look like. I'm gonna say the repulsor looked freaking cool. Yeah, I like how it fits right into the palm of your hand.
I love that.
And it looks like it's
Gosh.
pretty. It looks like
And
it
it
has some
glows?
pretty good heft to it. So it looks like it has a lot of tech in there. It
Mhm.
doesn't look small and puny. It looks like you could have enough of like a Bluetooth connector in there. You could
Oh.
have other things that sync up to like maybe your phone. It
Mhm.
doesn't look like it's going to be, just this, piddly little thing that you can buy. It looks like it has some heft to it.
I mean, for the price you're paying, I don't think it's gonna fall apart. And
Exactly.
it looks cool. It looks cool. So yeah, we will see. We will report back, and I'm sure we'll do another update on that news.
Like
Uh,
Marvin says, it's laser tag with webs.
pew 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 pew.
I would love that. That would be so cool if you could actually do that while you're spider botting, and you can use the web slingers as well.
Oh, ooh.
Like you could have a whole
Oh.
bunch of friends come up to you like with 3 or 4 spider bots, and they're shooting at you, and you're shooting at them with the web slinger.
So you don't necessarily need a spider bot to. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you can either use the spider bots or use your web slinger.
Yeah. And again, we don't know. We're just speculating that this, what we would like to see additional perks of purchasing said power
Yes.
band.
It's us just fantasizing.
Yeah. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our last topic before we dive into our main topics. Let's talk about Henry Cavill cast as
The
Highlander. I feel like there is literally like it's perfect casting choice.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw this. So he is to star in Lionsgate's Highlander reboot, and this is from director Chad I want to put an extra L in his name. Stahelski, who you may know from John Wick. So this is really exciting, and I think with Henry Cavill, especially seeing him in not just in the Superman role, but in also Gerald in The Witcher.
Yep.
I can already envision like the fur, the sword, the hair in the wind. Like it works.
Especially after The Witcher, because
Yes.
I could definitely see Henry Cavill as Connor McLeod.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait. And like originally, I'd be like, oh, I don't know if they want to reboot Highlander. I don't know if that's one of the shows that.
Once you have the star,
But
though.
now I'm kind of like, oh wait, who? Oh, I'm interested. Okay, so I'm very excited. So this will be yet another franchise that Henry Cavill is going to carry on his shoulders.
Yeah, that's Superman, Witcher, and Mission Impossible that he's been a part of.
My goodness, and then now.
Now Highlander.
So I'm excited. Have you guys watched Highlander? Are you maybe too young to remember? I remember not all, but some. And that show is and a movie, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Definitely got me into I want to learn how to sword fight because that looks cool.
And also we know Henry Cavill has had some sword fighting experience.
I mean,
because
Witcher
of Witcher.
Alone.
Yeah.
My God, that one scene in like it was like the first episode.
Yeah, it was like the first or second episode that he did an amazing sword fight in.
Yeah, and I remember watching some of the behind the scenes stuff. I'm like, this is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. So if that's what we got in Witcher, I feel like we're gonna get, especially with Chad Stahelski behind this as well, we're gonna get some really amazing sword fights in this, and I can't wait. I know it's very early on. We know literally nothing else about this, but I'm very excited for it.
Up at the top, we do have a
there it is.
A super chat from Marvin Martin.
Marvin writes, if you were immortal, speaking of which, YouTube fable of Dragon Tyrant, we demonize immortality. I can't speak today. Immortality, but want it like Aesop's. I cannot read. What's wrong with me? Grapeless fox. So immortality. I don't think I'd want to be immortal.
I don't think so either.
I think I'd get bored very quickly.
Well, especially the fact that
of like just years and years of seeing history repeat itself almost.
And also seeing the mistakes of humanity be repeated over and over and over again. One thing though that did really hit me was I can't remember if it was in Highlander or if it was in some other movie about immortals, to where the immortal person ended up getting found out. Oh, this guy's immortal. Let's turn him into a test subject. And for decades, he was just a lab rat being tortured. And I mean, how much would that mess with you? I mean, constantly seeing your loved ones die after, let's say, 2 generations. And I think you would slowly go mad. I think someone's brain, human's brain just can't take that for too long. And they would become bitter. And I think they'd become, you would sooner or later break, and you would lose all connection with humanity and just see most humans as, well, they're gonna die anyways. So who really cares? Kind of a thing.
Almost get a little jaded.
Yeah, kind of a thing. Kind of almost like, what is it called? The way that Omni-Man was in Invincible, you know, these insignificant lives. You, in 500 years, who's going to be here with you? All of your friends will be dead.
You watch them grow old, and you age ever so slowly. Yeah. And also, to Marvin, I just looked up Fable of the Dragon Tyrant, but there was like tons of other videos. Is there a specific one I need to watch? If you know that, drop the link in the chat and I'll grab it so we can watch later. But yeah, I feel like immortality, I know that's definitely a story that people like, you seek that fountain of youth and whatever it may be that makes you immortal. And I think the ideal of it, you know, immortal, like never being sick and things like that, like I think that does take away parts of like the fear of death, if you're afraid of that, away from your everyday worry, and you can kind of live maybe a little bit for that person, live a little bit more freely. But I just don't think I want to be around for that long.
Yeah,
like we're talking like thousands.
I would like the fountain of years to be my goal would be to stay young and healthy until I die. That's what I want.
I think
would
a lot of people
young,
would want
healthy,
that.
Vibrant until I hit like maybe 150, and then I'm like, okay. When I'm just done taking the fountain of youth, I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to die. I'm ready. All of my friends are gone. I don't like the direction that the world's going, or you know what? I think the world's off in a good direction. So I'm done seeing it though.
In your scenario, do you just stop taking a drink from the fountain?
Yeah, I think like every day.
But then you would still have to like slowly age out, don't you?
No,
it's
in my mind is that once that magic is out of your system, your body just quickly ages and you like just turn to dust.
Jeez.
Kind of a thing.
Oh.
So I would say that, I mean, well, that's what I would like, to be young and healthy for as long as I can, and then get to a point to where I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be an immortal anymore, and just stop taking the medicine, so to speak, and you just pass away.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Hugh Jackman, I guess this was a movie, Immortality, the Fountain. I don't remember it.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was the tree. It was it was a tree or something. It was a really weird movie, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember it.
I'd have to go back and watch it, because I watched it once and I was kind of like, this is weird. Kind of a thing. So yeah, it was the Tree of Life.
Yeah. Tree of Life. Okay. Says Vanja, Tree of Life. Shane White says, I have something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade away. That's what I'm not, those are not my sound effects. I'm just saying aloud his sound effects. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our main topic for today, which includes the Bad Batch episode 4 spoiler talk. So if you have not watched the latest episode of The Bad Batch, just know that we're going to be talking about some major plot points here. And if you don't want that spoiled for you, we may have to say our goodbyes here. But if you have watched it, or you don't care about spoilers, then by all means, stay tuned. What are you laughing at?
Oh, I'm sorry. I laughed at one of Blade's comments saying, so Dustin would be that person who chose poorly in the Last Crusade. I'm like, I chose poorly. But yeah, you know, that was even the thing in the Last Crusade. You had to constantly drink from the Fountain of Youth, from the Holy Grail, in order to keep your health, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think it's too much work for me.
Too much health for more.
Being a human is work enough. Like, you know, just seeing people fight over, you know, the Fountain of Youth, try to murder you so they can have it. Just, no thanks. Pass on all of that. Jack says, sounds unhealthy. All right, so let's talk about the Bad Batch. This one was entitled Cornered. A slightly faster paced episode, a lot more action in this one, and a very specific character shows up in this one. Of course, we're talking about the one and only Fennec Shand, voiced by Ming-Na Wen, as we saw in the live action the Mandalorian show. I've been waiting for her to show up.
Yes.
Ever since we saw her in the trailers, I'm like, oh wait, she's gonna be in this. Sold even more. And it's a little weird to hear that very distinct voice where I'm like, it's Mulan. She's coming to save us. No, she's bad. She's kind of bad in this
She's
one.
evil.
But I like her so much. I was conflicted. No, I like this one because the previous 3 episodes, while great, pacing was a bit slow, and I get that they have to build the relationship, and maybe it's a more of a slow burn type of a show, and it's getting ready to ramp up, and we just have to introduce various characters and things like that. But this one definitely upped the ante for me, just to see Fennec and Hunter going at it.
Yes, I want to see that's the headbutt that I really want to see.
Yeah,
is to see Fennec and Hunter just battle it out, battle royale style kind of a thing, to where at the end they're both just because they just both have just kicked the living crap out of each other.
Yeah, and they both, like they know what their mission is and what they need to do. She is to deliver Omega back to. We're assuming that it's the Kaminoans.
Yes,
that she has hired her to retrieve Omega, and for Hunter and the rest of the Bad Batch is to protect her.
Yes.
So I will say, Fennec she's OG in this. Like, she's OP in this. Like, the fact that she faced by herself, she faced Wrecker and was successfully able to knock him out cold.
It was knock him out cold in like 2 hits.
I was surprised.
I was like, oh, okay.
It must have been the way she applied the physics and everything. She used his own force against him, and like, so that when he hit the thing in the vent, he must have hit a lot harder.
Hit his head again.
Twice now. He already had some sort of a head injury, and I feel like now there's maybe which they still didn't really talk about. So we're wondering if that was just a one-off thing or not, but we'll see. They did successfully make their way out of Pandora, which I thought it was fun that we got to go to Pandora.
Uh-huh.
Well, we're like, oh, Pandora. It's been a while since we've seen. Do I remember us going to that planet in the past? In any of the recent iterations of, like, not in the movies, not recently.
Didn't they go there in Rogue One?
Yeah, but that was like prequel to the.
True.
That's a long time ago. That's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I just loved the setting that they had here. I mean, the fight scene, how it moved from place to place. It was flying, then it was on the ground, then it was underground, and they did a really good job on this chase scene. So far, some of the chase scenes in Bad Batch has been pretty cool. And
I'll say, Fennec was savage. She literally smashed the guy's face into like the dashboard of his spacecraft, and then she just flung him off.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, and I was like, well, wait, it really didn't hit me until I was watching our edit, because I think I was so into the show that I didn't realize what she did, but your reaction was like, oh my God. And I was like, okay. Because I was just like, what's going to happen next? And it wasn't until I was watching back our edit, I was like, oh my gosh, she straight up just tossed the guy out. He probably fell to his death.
Yeah, he's probably dead. So what's that called? It is civilian casualties.
Yes. We're super excited to see Fennec in this. We know the show is still called The Bad Batch. It's not about Fennec. It's the bad Fennec. It's the bad Fennec. But I'm very excited to see. She's going to be hot on their trail, talking to her boss, whoever it may be that hired her for the job, at the end of the episode. In this episode, I also kind of wish we got to explore a little bit more about who Omega is and what. Oh, the music is back. Can you guys hear?
Oh, and yeah, it comes and goes.
But I think if we're closer to the mic than they are, so hopefully they don't hear it. But I'm excited. I think this obviously means that she will continue to appear for at least a few more episodes. I don't know if she's going to appear throughout the entire series. I do think she's going to play a major part in it. And then for episode 5, my hopes is that we eventually will see the Bad Batch, the remaining members of the Bad Batch, cross path again with Crosshair, and see how that confrontation goes down. Because is he going to try to, in his own way, talk sense into his friends to be like, hey, let's just come back, like, you guys are misguided, you don't know what's going on. And then maybe because Tech and Echo are kind of working on this inhibitor trip thing,
that's what I'm thinking.
I think they're going to try to trap him, strap him down, and try to fix him themselves. or
And Polar Rex, kind
and
of
Polar
what
Rex.
where Ahsoka was able to get that chip out of his brain, kind of a
Or
thing.
ultimately, it doesn't happen, and they're disbanded like in that way forever. Just the rest of them versus
That
Crosshair,
might be
which
true.
would be so sad. But I think maybe by taking one of them away for the story, it's good because altogether, all of them, they're very powerful. Like
I
they can
was
do too much destruction.
I was kind of hoping that for a second there, when Wrecker did hit his head, they would have mentioned it again of, oh, my head. And then they're kind of like, well, let's take this thing and check out your head. When with Tech taking his tech and checking it out. And then the next episode, they would kind of evolve the study of the chip, and then they meet Crosshair, and then they immobilize them, and they figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. But that's definitely something I want to see too. I want to see Crosshair's cross path with the Bad Batch again, because he is a part of the original crew, and I want him back with the Bad Batch. However, I also like where he is in the Empire right now, where he may be the start of the Dark Troopers, kind of a thing. I mean, the Death Troopers. So I'm really curious to see what direction they take all of these characters.
Yeah, me too. And I really want a Fennec and a Crosshair showdown. One sharpshooter versus another sharpshooter. And this also squashed my theory. Remember back in episode 3, we had these new recruits that came in and they did that side mission on Onderon with Crosshair. And I thought, because she had the dark hair, and I was like, oh, wait, is that Fennec? And then after, upon thinking back on that episode, I started to go, I don't think it's her. So I'm pretty sure at this point now it's clear, not the same person.
And I like what Star Drew, the one part that we loved the most probably out of this scene was Hunter selling Echo as a droid.
That was the perfect cover, and I like that he played it up
5,000 credits.
5,000 credits. I mean, he's so capable of, he can hack, he can fight.
He is kind of their droid.
Yeah, but like human.
Yeah, human
or
droid.
Clone, I guess. So I thought that part was so funny, especially when he was being dragged away by his new owner. He raised his like one hand, but that hand had like the
hook
the hook or whatever, and it looked like he was like flipping off, like, I'll make you pay for this. I'm doing this for the greater good. So I can't wait. Okay, so Grob Admiral Thrawn says, I really want to know what happened to Cody after Order 66.
Yes.
Same.
There's a lot of stuff that we want to find out about Order 66. How many Jedi did get immediately killed? And are the Bad Batch going to come across a couple Jedi? They have to. There's got to be still tons of Jedi
Maybe
out there.
Ahsoka is the only Ahsoka, and then Caleb. Maybe they meet back up with him for like a hot second, but I don't know. And then Admiral Thrawn, what was the question that he posed earlier about oh no, I can't remember. But I said I wanted us to come back to this, and it was
one of the super chat. It was like our first super chat.
Yeah,
super chat.
I don't think I can't scroll all the way up.
Oh, hold on a second. I think I can. Okay. Aha!
All right.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Not that one. That was Chris's choice. And aha, there it is.
All right. So, do you think we'll ever see the Fable?
Oh no, that's Justin's. Sorry.
I think you got to go up one more. Oh no, it wasn't a super chat. You're looking for super chats,
I was
and
looking
it wasn't.
for super chats.
Oh, if you can put it in the chat again, you don't need to send it through as a super chat if you don't want to. But if you can again, because gosh, that was such a good question, and there was a whole reason why I wanted to hold it, because it had to do. Okay, oh there it is. Thank you, Kinlan Voss.
Oh yeah.
So it would be interesting because they've now inserted. Thank you so much for putting that back in. Fennec has now entered. She has entered the chat. She's entered the show, obviously as a bounty hunter, going after this bounty, him being a bounty hunter as well, and straddling kind of like the light and dark, which is, I think, for the most part, that's what bounty hunters kind of go in between. They're like, well, I'm just trying to...
They can take honest jobs. They can take honest jobs.
Survive. This opens up the possibility, I feel like, having her in the show opens the door for possibly more bounty hunters to appear, because if she's not successful, or if Tarkin really wants to get his hands on Omega, he himself, without knowing that the Kaminoans have hired her, can go and hire another bounty hunter.
And,
And if the timeline matches up, it could, what if it's him?
mm-hmm.
He's a good tracker.
And also right now, that's what's really big. You know, we've had The Mandalorian. We know we're getting Book of Boba Fett. We know we have Fennec. We know there's that connection. So right now, diving more into the world of bounty hunters is probably a really good idea, because you can now prep certain things that are going to be in the Book of Boba Fett. So I'm really excited. Just the bounty hunter world and the underbelly of it is such an interesting world to explore. And I want to see them explore that as much as they can. And it seems that that's kind of the theme right now.
Yeah.
Let's focus on the bounty hunters. Do you want to learn about bounty hunters, Navi? Huh? Do you want to see more bounty hunters like Fennec and Boba Fett? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
She struggled just now.
Hi, everybody.
Do a quick hello before we move on to our next topic. But yeah, all that said is we're really happy with episode 4 of The Bad Batch. I love that they finally introduced Fennec, which I figure it wouldn't be too long, but her entrance was fantastic, and we look forward to seeing more of her. And let's go ahead and move on to our final topic for today's show, which is Army of the Dead review. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, but if you don't want to hear anything about the movie because you haven't had a chance to watch it on Netflix, we totally understand. We won't spoil any of the major plot points. We just kind of want to give you guys a quick, our quick thoughts.
Yeah.
On the film. We finished it yesterday, and I enjoyed it a lot. I wanted a zombie movie. I got the zombie movie. There were tons of actions and explosions and zombie bodies and body parts. But I like Zack Snyder's storytelling and the way he creatively blended the kind of zombie apocalypse vibe with the heist.
Yes.
That's something a little bit different. It's kind of like, because what is it making these people exactly, like what motivates them to actually go into this? Seems like a suicide mission.
Yeah.
Essentially to go in, and like, it's, it may be easy to go in, but you may not all come out. That wasn't ever a guarantee, but the money was good. And a lot of these people, because of what happened in Las Vegas, and what the government wants to do to try to eliminate that whole problem, was, well, I don't want to say too much into it, but everybody's lives kind of isn't the same as it used to be. Living is a little bit rougher.
Yeah.
So the prize money there that they were going to be given if they survived the mission was going to be pretty hefty, which is a great reward and great incentive to walk yourself into zombie land.
Yeah,
essentially.
very much. And I really do like what Wendy said, is the blending of zombie movie and heist movie. I thought those went very well together. I also like some of the twists and some of the changes that they made to their zombies. They're not your stereotypical zombies. I like how they kind of twisted it and kind of made it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more unexpected about what they're actually having to face. I'm trying to do it as hard as I can without giving spoilers. Also, something that is insanely important: characters.
Yes.
You have to be attached to these characters. These characters have to have good chemistry together. And I think everyone did a really good job.
Yes.
And I think it was just very well put together for a zombie movie. Some of the qualms that I have are that they do use a few of what I would call 80s military logic kind of thing, to where, when you had the military in movies back in the 80s, usually you're sitting there going, wait, I thought these guys were supposed to be like highly intelligent when it comes to, some kind of maneuver or some kind of situation, to where it's like, okay, I think they made these decisions just to kind of progress the storyline. But since it's
or some things are put in for convenience of things that we'll revisit again later on down the line.
However, it fits within the zombie movie. So normally where that would
genre, you mean?
Genre.
Mm-hmm.
The zombie genre. To where it fits, and it doesn't really bother me as much as it would in, say, like some other kind of movies.
Yeah, in this movie, it didn't like take itself so seriously that, it's like, oh, we have to be this, and it's drama and intensity. Like, yeah, there's heartfelt scenes. There's definitely some very good acting
Mhm.
from Dave Bautista,
Dave
especially.
Bautista, you go,
Wow,
dude.
man.
Holy cow, some of those scenes you did, I'm just like, wow. And
Pretty
this is from
good.
the guy when he started doing Guardians of the Galaxy. They were like, he was like, I'm glad that they're giving me the character, a simple character to play because
Well,
he's
look
like,
at
I'm
him
not an
now.
actor. I'm
Look at
like,
him
dude,
now.
you are becoming you are doing a great job. Good job, Dave Bautista.
So Shane White says, let's see, Army of the Dead, flawed but fun, 8 out of 10. That's a really great way to like there's some of the plot and some of the writing scenarios where I was like, not too convenient, but I get it. And
Yeah.
I'm still with it. I'm having a ton of fun watching this movie and watching this like crazy band of like very odd characters
Yeah.
band together for this one mission. So I was all for it. Blade says, good popcorn flick, but the runtime was a bit long for my taste. We literally
That I
said that
can
last night. If they had a way to trim down certain parts, and I could honestly name you the parts, but I'll save that for a spoiler review for our patrons. But if certain parts were either shaved down or they used those moments to explore some of the zombie lore,
Yeah.
I think that would have been good use of that time otherwise. But in all honesty, the movie is a lot of fun. It's available on Netflix right now. If you have Netflix and you can watch it, I believe it's also playing in theaters. So if you
Mhm.
have a theater that's near you that is open and playing and playing the movie, and you feel safe going into a theater, then by all means do so. And yeah, just have a good time. Batista has come a long way since The Man with Iron Fist.
No, very
Wow.
true.
Yeah.
He's I was sold. I loved his character in this movie. I think
Mhm.
I loved his motivation. I loved how they portrayed him being this portray I don't want to give anything away,
I know.
but I loved how Dave Bautista portrayed this character. He did an amazing job. So props to Dave Bautista.
I will also say that if you are not okay with graphic violence and gore, this is not the movie for you.
Maybe zombie movies in general ain't for
Yeah,
you.
it's not for you. And there is certainly a lot of the way that Zack Snyder filmed this is very creatively. Um, Having the team infiltrate Vegas to get to where they need to go in order to they know that they have to break into the safe. I think that's already in the trailer. I really
Oh
don't think
yeah.
that's a spoiler. That's the whole
They're
main
going
point.
into Vegas to get money
To
out
get
of the
money
safe.
out of yeah, because it's all of it's bandits, so you have all that money sitting there, you can't spend it. Why have it? So that's what they were hired to do. And some of the obstacles that he put in front of these characters for them to go through was really interesting, really creative, and that's what I really liked about this one. It wasn't just like, oh, Walking Dead zombie, and we do this and pop, pop, shoot, shoot, and we're out.
Yeah.
There were a lot of other aspects of it that I really enjoyed. If he one day decide, hey, I'm gonna do a Army of the Dead 2, somehow, I don't know how because I feel like the story concluded, but if he wanted to do a second one, I would 100% be down to watch.
Yeah. And also something that Wendy and I were sitting down when we were watching this, we're going, this is going to make an amazing maze at like Halloween Horror Nights or
100%.
something. 100%. This is going to be an awesome maze.
If they can
There
do
are
it,
so
yeah.
many parts of this movie that I'm like, you feel a little claustrophobic.
You're like, oh God, I can't. I can't.
And you're
watch it.
cringing. And I'm just like, this would be awesome in
Cringing in fear. Okay, not saying the movie's bad.
Yeah. This would be great to use in a Universal Studios Hollywood Horror Night. So Universal Studios, see if you can get the rights to it because I would be down.
They would have had to have that done already because construction has begun.
Oh,
they start as early as the summer because they have usually 6 to 7 mazes to do. But if it's not too late to get an IP on your belt, I think this is the one to go for. I missed a super chat here from Jarrett Barkley. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up on the screen right now.
Thanks, Jared.
Going right all the way back to our Star Wars topic here. Do you think Mara Jade, my favorite Legends character, can have her own movie or show, or do you think she would be a part of a bigger cast? It depends. Which time would this be Mara Jade, before Luke or after Luke?
Yeah, that would, and see, that's going to be the big problem, is the fact that Mara Jade is so closely connected to Emperor Palpatine and Luke Skywalker, and they've kind of already told that story. You might be able to make it to where There is this little gap to where maybe Luke thought Mara Jade had died in Kylo Ren's attack, but they are actually able to get out or something. Or you
Mm.
could tell this because there is a big gap between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. So I guess there could be a moment in between there, and it would make sense because the Emperor is still around,
Yes.
even though we thought he was dead. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. Sorry. Um,
Evil never dies.
so I guess you could kind of place it in there. It would have, I think it would be very difficult. And I don't think at this time and place, Dave Filoni is looking to explore the Skywalker story much more. I think with Book of Boba Fett, with The Mandalorian, with Ahsoka, with Obi-Wan, he's kind of starting to explore some of the other stories that they have besides the Skywalkers. Maybe much later down the line, but honestly, I'm with you. I would love to see that storyline with Mara Jade.
I think if they were gonna do Mara Jade, I doubt they would kick it off in her own movie. I feel like Disney Plus live action show could be a good way to go. Or
Mhm.
she could potentially be a part of a bigger cast. It just depends on the timeline of said story because if they want to do her post after her meeting Luke, then that's a very specific timeline. But if they go before that, then maybe they have a little bit more wiggle room.
They could continue the Skywalker lineage that somewhere between um Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, Mara Jade meets, they get together. Luke thinks she dies, but she actually is carrying his child, and she is keeping it secret because she's like, I don't want these are Skywalker blood, but I'm gonna call them, they're gonna be my kids, kind of a thing.
Yeah, just don't
So
have the Skywalker in your name at all, because
yeah,
that just I feel like brings trouble that you don't need or want.
there's definitely a path that they could take with it.
Yeah,
And I would love
absolutely.
to see them explore it. And I think it would have to be done in like kind of like how they did Clone Wars,
Hmm.
kind of a thing. So
Hmm.
maybe more in an animation.
Yeah,
So
animation would be cool too. And she hasn't really been. I don't think she outside of Legends, she's appeared in anything else. She's
no,
not even been mentioned
nope,
in movie, TV shows, animated shows. Nothing, huh?
nope,
Well, Luke
nothing
also
at
has
all.
not been a part of any
Except for The
animated
Mandalorian.
any animated shows.
No, honestly,
Yeah.
I think that would be cool to have. I mean, everyone wants to see what Luke was doing after Return of the Jedi. So I'm assuming that they will sooner or later tell those stories because there's
Eventually.
such an
Maybe they
outcry
tell it
for
through
them.
her.
I think that would be cool.
You know, she can say like it would just be like her recount of, her experience. So that would be an interesting way to go. So Jared, great question. I hope we somewhat answered it, but we don't know. I just think I know like one of my friends from high school, like Mara Jade's her favorite Star Wars character,
Yes.
and I think she is a lot of people's favorite characters, definitely a fan base for her. So I think to one day see her, whether in animated form or in live action form or maybe in a movie, would be really, really cool. But
Yeah.
I think for now they're going to focus on some of the other stuff that they have planned. But who knows that they don't have Disney and Lucasfilm team doesn't have like Mara Jade sitting on their desk somewhere and going, yeah, that's something that's
We'll
on the
get to
table.
this.
We're gonna definitely
This is
get to
something we want
this.
to get to, but
Yeah.
we have some other stuff to do first.
Yeah. 50 million things. Always busy. Well, you guys, that's it for today's show. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us and Navi and watch us drink this awful Coca-Cola with coffee drink that we are now just gonna pour down the sink because I don't think we need to have that stuff in our. The caramel was the wrong choice, guys.
No.
I think maybe we would have had a little bit better of an experience if it was the dark blend or even the vanilla. But
Yeah.
because even MK said, he goes, "Oh yeah, caramel was my least favorite one." I'm like, great. That's the one that I got. So, you guys, we will be back on Wednesday with another live stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget to hit that like button. Really helps us out here on YouTube. More people will see our videos and this and that. Appreciate you and guys engaging with us here in the chat. We will see you on Wednesday. For everybody who's been coming over to the Twitch stream on the weekends, thank you so much for supporting me there. You can see me streaming tomorrow, time TBD, but usually it's in the afternoon, so like 2 p.m. PT or sometime after that. Tomorrow will be Paper Mario. Twitch.tv/Wendy Lee Zaney is going to be the where you want to be. And that's it. We will talk to you guys real soon.
Wait, can I say goodbye,
Bye,
everybody?
Bye, Nabby.
Oh, look at the cute puppy.